Good day, love.
네,
Bacc. Evoda?
인샤부테와
Eftusuva?
도나 대샤 이가나나
Dwada suva.
Husha vaso. In tree blasino. Super flava sheen of ram. E pla. Hubli. Flava sheen. Uvada lamb. Wafflet. Wafflet. Super flava sheen of ram. E pla. Hubli.
Vib.
Me hem root face. Awarin ran Travisine.
할아가바바신 파라푼 아리스 와두가 할아가바바신 탱크람 바다 하우스 데크리드 바밤 파라푼 아리스 탱크람 바다 하우스 데크리드 바밤 와두가 할아가바바신 파디
Vigi.
اسمك لا بقى
Kerman no. Itu mana kelapsi? Oh, Kujiba.
인그랬다
Oh, it's a crab nut.
소리야
Kerman tiende. Oh, it's a black inamaraka. Itu mana kelapsi? Kerman tiende. Inamaraka. Kerman tiende. Itu mana kelapsi? Oh, it's a black inamaraka. Kerman tiende.
The world is different somehow. Something's definitely amiss. Maybe it is the fact that everything is decaying and seemingly out of a generic post-apocalyptic game. This is the start of a new adventure. Only a few can withstand the consequences and hardships to come. Truth is, no one really knows what happened. Suddenly, no one can recall the past few months, but seeing how everything looks quite abandoned, there is the question if there's still people out there and alive, and what dangers lurk in this new world our small group of mismatched survivors will eventually face. Because if you want to know the truth, they'll have to survive this blasted wasteland first. Welcome to Middle of Nowhere, a Build a City challenge for the one and only Sims 2. This will feature stories and mysteries that we will unravel as we play and discover what's out there, alongside the normal Build a City challenge gameplay and some added bonuses as well. Quick disclaimer, I knew I started this last year and kind of put it in the back burner. I also lost the CC folder for the hood, and I was moving my game to a new laptop, so things just happened. But I can finally progress and start this story-based Build a City challenge after redoing every lot that I lost. So, wowee! This series will be a mix of past challenges that I've seen and read on the internet, plus I'm taking huge inspiration from other challenges such as stories and strategies here on YouTube. So go check it out if you haven't already, because if it wasn't for them, this old challenge here wouldn't be alive and kicking. There's also a healthy mix of various games like Fallout, obviously, and the console versions of TS2 and some lore and bits borrowed from it, and the whole survival genre itself, which is honestly one of my favourite genres ever. Well, I did write down the rules and everything needed on my notepad, and I'll be explaining most of it along the way and how I've been organizing and modifying this challenge to a new thing that I can call my own. The Build a City challenge can be different if you do it in some way or another, but its basic concept is that you've got to build a functional neighborhood from the ground up. And because the Sims 2 community is so iconic, many players can do this challenge in their own unique way. So why not start a new civilization using a prehistoric setting, or maybe try a medieval look to it? It's a beautiful thing that we can do whatever we want to do in this very old game and still make so much of it. The possibilities are nearly endless, really. The Sims 2 and storytelling goes hand in hand ever since Machinimas were created back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. So the challenges it brought to the table, so I wanted to try my own take on it. Let us welcome our 4 main characters and explore the rules and how things will work from now on. I know some people are very strict when it comes to rules and gameplay, but Middle of Nowhere is also very story driven, meaning I'll probably won't be as harsh to our little group, and some things will be in a way scripted to happen. But survival is a big part of this take on the challenge, and I've also added mods from creators such as Sun and Moon to enhance the new experience and keep it closer to an RPG than Sims 2. There will be tons of RPG elements to this, such as chance cards and skill dice rolls and all the good stuff my nerd arse loves to bit. So let's see how our fortunate or unfortunate party members are and get to know them a little bit. Miriam Jones is the youngest of the group, fresh out of college and too green for this wasteland she found herself in. She was in her dorm at La Fiesta Tech when she heard people screaming outside her room, and harsh bright lights was all that she remembers before everything got too hazy to tell. After that, she woke up alone in the middle of the desert without a clue how she ended up here. Her only solace was that she eventually found other Sims after hours searching for any sign of life. It has been a few hours since she met them, and they are still looking for decent shelter to rest in, and she only hopes she can return to civilization before anything gets really dangerous out here. Miriam is serving as a resources handler and electronics mechanic, but she's not qualified for both classes because she has no experience whatsoever. Right now, our Sims are all qualified as scavengers too, cause they need anything they can get right now. I'm also playing with 3-2 traits, and most of these help our party in some way thanks to Sun and Moon's wonderful mods alongside others I found that made them able to function. It also brings a whole new light to the role-playing part of this challenge. Andre might not be the friendliest or the most open Sim out here, but he's resourceful and gets things done when needed. He's also the only one who currently has a makeshift weapon, which is a baseball bat. So staying alert and watching out for trouble is his main job at the moment. Even though no one has seen anything that screamed danger or signs that this is some sort of zombie apocalypse, which everyone hopes it isn't, Andre isn't letting his guard down. He's wary of his companions, sure, but after waking up in a place totally different from where he was at, who wouldn't be? He's from San Myshuno, for goodness sake. Waking up stranded in the middle of the desert wasn't on his list at all. Besides that, no one really knows what he was doing before the quote-unquote happening. He didn't seem too keen on sharing any information besides the basics. He's serving as our guard and general mechanic, which he's both qualified for. But will his pessimistic ways might prove to hinder the group's progress? Well, we'll see about that. the oldest of the group, Sally tries to keep her companions in a better mood most of the time. Her life prior to waking up stranded in the desert wasn't too different. She was part of a small hippie commune close to Strangetown and lived mostly off the land already. But of course, not completely away from electricity and other basic tools needed for survival, so she hopes everything will be fine. She's our cook and medic, both unqualified, and she's the survival specialist, so she's the only one who can draw water from cacti and gather wild plants for food at the moment. Most of the resource handling is her job as well. She's hoping that Miriam tries to keep up and learn from her. And well, at last, their most recent find, a strange man who introduced himself simply as Nervous. Like his name, he is quite a nervous individual and seems hesitant to tag along with them if it wasn't for the fact that they all need each other right now. After hours of wandering the desert as a group, Nervous hasn't really spoken much about himself, but differently from Andre, it seemed like he didn't know how to communicate with another person at all, instead of being grumpy and closed off. In other words, Nervous was weird, sure, but he was the best scavenger of the group, managing to find a working torchlight and some odd findings, even though there was hardly anything around them. One thing he still keeps in mind is a dear friend he worries for. He wonders if he's out there, alone, and tries not to think of the worst scenarios possible. Nervous is our only qualified scavenger, being able to find resource items when others might overlook as simply junk around. I hope you enjoyed this introduction. It's been very difficult to edit all of this and make it make sense because I'm a first-time Machinima creator, and this is totally my out-of-the-box idea I'm planning to develop. So we have our current home base, the Red's Garage, and it's all thrashed glory. You can see there's a lot of scavengeable items that the survivors can find as they try to settle down and think for a bit what they're going to do next, what are their plans, and if there is another option to continue on into the desert or just stay here till that the sun cools down. But before that, I want to explain all of the special skills, how the gameplay will work, how the perks that I've been writing down and working on will work. Most of it comes from kind of imagination. It comes with, you have to kind of role-play it a little bit, but if I want this to make more sense, especially the gameplay, I will have to explain some basics first, and this will prove to be a little bit challenging because, well, I'm not the best at explaining things at all. Doesn't mean that I won't try. Swear to Will, right? I'll do, but let's do it. The first quest of the group is to get properly situated and find basic resources such as a source of food, water, and hopefully electric power. Also, hopefully new Sims, because as long as they know it, they're the only ones alive. Still alive out here. We don't know what's out there, and what dangers could they find ahead, but right now, Red's Garage is the perfect little base for the group, and scavenging the building will bring them to completing the very first quest. The special perks are currently Survival, Medicine, Scavenging, Tinkering, Melee and Defense, Mining and Woodworking. And all of them are tiered with skills gained and actions the Sims can perform as they progress within the skill tree. Experience gained while performing this chosen skill will be added to the experience points of the Sim. Right now, all of them have 0 points, but that doesn't mean they don't know anything in the tier list, as some survivors already have some skills by default. For example, Sally can already draw water from cacti that is gained within the survival skill tree, the one with the Wandering Wanderer perk. This is the medicine skill tree and all of the information each perk can grant a Sim with. The perks are Band-aids are your friend, disinfectant lover, support of the game, the doctor is in, and organic mechanic. The wound and disease system is still a work in progress, but I already have all of the perks settled here. Sims with the medicine skill tree can eventually find materials to craft salves and bandages and identify wild flora for medicine as well. The tinkering skill consists of the perks Try Turning It On and Off, Broken Radios Galore, Tech Savvy Wannabe, Circuit Guru, and Wasteland Mechanic. Tinkering will prove beneficial for repairing items and crafting power generators. With a radio system, Sims can communicate with each other at long distances and keep in contact with the scavenging groups who venture outside the home base. The survival skill tree consists of the following perks: Fallout Noob, Settling in the Wastes, Wandering Wanderer, Certified Wastelander, and Fallout Veteran, and will be needed so Sims can find water resources and roll successful die rolls in the survival encounters. The last perk will make it so your sim cannot fail the die roll. The scavenging perks are Finders Keepers, Dirty Waster, Hoarder Problems, Rat Off the Junk, and Scaver Talent. Most sims will need to keep this skill so they can find basic crafting materials along the journey. The last perk allows you to fully craft a junk item instead of just disassembling it. The melee and defense perks are Wasted Brood, Witness, Wandering Cowpoke, Cazador Brawler, and Wasteland Warrior, and will prove crucial for sims who will need to defend the group from enemies and threats, providing a die roll for the success rate. Firearms will only be used when a sim finds a functioning one, or else it's just melee, baby. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this little introduction to the challenge. I've been working very hard on it for a while, and I do hope you also enjoy the gameplay part, which I'll be posting as soon as I edit it. Please let me know your thoughts and ideas, what can you suggest for gameplay scenarios, and most of all, thank you very much for watching. I hope I'll see you soon, and as we make this ragtag group of weirdos survive this wasteland together. Bye-bye!